The cemetery is the second of 4 cemetery projects that we've recently completed in New Mexico. It's located in Gallup, which is about 60 miles west of Albuquerque. The initial phase of the project will provide over 1,200 burial sites, including in-ground crypts, columbarium, and in-ground cremains. The administration building includes public space, office space for the staff, and maintenance bays as well. The committal shelter was designed to capture the views there at the cemetery, and faces the Hogback Mountains, which is a local landmark there in Gallup. In conclusion, this project, along with the 3 other veteran cemeteries that we've designed in New Mexico, has really made Huitt-Zollars the go-to firm for this kind of work.
Ironhurst Park is the largest community park within the Fort Carson Army Base in Colorado Springs. The park was in need of site improvements and updated amenities to improve the safety and overall experience for park visitors. A main component to this project was to contain drainage and manage flooding within the park while improving pedestrian access to park trails and other amenities. Our solution included designing grading and hydrology upgrades for a main drainage channel, designing 2 pedestrian crossings, and upgrading a culvert under a main street. This improved the functionality of the park and the safety of guests during storm events through flood mitigation and improved visitor access.
Huitt-Zollars was tasked with designing a 50,000 square foot expansion and a complete renovation of all existing administrative areas. The site design expanded parking and utilities, incorporated new outbuildings, all the while coordinating with a TxDOT expansion of the adjacent highway. Did I mention security requirements? The WCF makes 60% of the nation's paper money supply. Security is a thing. The facility maintains a full production schedule throughout construction, and that fact affected every aspect of the design and sequencing of the construction. Oh, and because of the government's timeline, we had 15 months to do all of this.
Rancho Verde subdivision, located in Channelview, Texas, consists of 14 sections with 1,500 single-family homes. Huitt-Zollars provided engineering services for several developers in the subdivision. As project engineers, we worked closely with the developers and Harris County Water Control and Improvement District 84 to complete the annexation of land and prepare multiple feasibility studies and reports. After the annexations were approved, we proceeded with the platting and subdividing of the land, topographical surveying, design of public utilities and paving improvements, design of 2 sanitary lift stations, a water plant with a water well, detention facilities, and a stormwater pump station. Huitt-Zollars also provided construction-based services and project representation and were successful in meeting our clients' schedules and budgets. Huitt-Zollars provided civil site infrastructure services for an industrial warehouse development, which includes a new 140,000 square foot industrial warehouse building, truck dock, truck court, parking lot, and infrastructure improvements on 7 acres of previously developed land. The design team worked with the city to determine their minimum requirements for the proposed development. One of the main challenges of the site was accommodating the city's drainage and stormwater quality management requirements. The design team incorporated an underground infiltration chamber system to help capture the initial stormwater flush from the site prior to discharging any stormwater to the public right-of-way. This chamber system met the city's design requirements and allowed the completion of the development.
HZ was engaged by Geofex Surveys Limited, based in North Carolina, to locate 41 LiDAR PID points in and around the city of Prescott. There were many challenges related to this project, namely access to remote areas. We contacted ranchers, developers, and numerous property owners to gain entry to the areas Geofex required us to locate the PIDs for their project.
Huitt-Zollars was tasked with designing an elevator structure and connecting walkways for K&M ETV, a 3-story, 51-year-old TV station located in Albuquerque. To do so, alterations were required on the existing electrical and special systems, as well as modifications at the locations where the new elevator connects to the existing building. We also use these additions as a design opportunity to aesthetically improve the building. The City of El Paso selected Huitt-Zollars for the design of a bus rapid transit system, including 20 stations along an 11-mile corridor. The project included the design of the canopies, pylons, landscaping and streetscape, and the demolition of a pedestrian bridge. This project has enhanced El Paso's mass transit system and serves as a benchmark for future transit and development projects. The system has improved travel in the Dyer corridor by bringing faster transit travel times and advanced user amenities to the Northeast area. Completion of the Dyer bus rapid transit system has achieved another milestone in the city's goal to connect El Paso and serve the mobility needs of the community. TxDOT is undertaking a program to update and modernize its facilities asset portfolio throughout the state of Texas. The Phase 1 pilot program scope included 3 TxDOT campuses in Austin, encompassing 33 buildings and approximately 175,000 square feet. Huitt-Zollars provided architectural as-built digital scan surveys and spatial Revit BIM modeling to define the configurations for each occupied facility. These services included acquiring, modeling, and incorporating information into the state's facility management database.
This was a design-build project, and to assemble the cost proposal to win the project, there were no bridging documents, so we had to proactively develop a design that was reasonably precise, and we did, and we enabled the contractor to win the project from our efficient and creative design. As a design-build project, we're also pressured throughout the process by both the contractor and the subcontractors to either allow substandard materials or use lesser design features, or to deal with the underperforming subcontractors' problems during construction. What was significant about the project is that Riverside National Cemetery provides more interments annually than any other national cemetery. This project created 45,000 additional burial sites where we can inter our veterans in a serene place that honors their service and their sacrifice.
Holiday Inn Club Vacations awarded design and documentation of their new Myrtle Beach resort to Huitt-Zollars based on the planning and concept design effort for this project to test fit their program on their 10-acre oceanfront site. The client required 300 timeshare units to be designed into 2 phases, and every unit was required to have a view of the ocean. Additionally, the project is located within the flight path of the Myrtle Beach Airport, so the 7-story building had to meet strict FAA height requirements while maintaining the required FEMA flood clearances. By being creative with the planning and design of the building, Huitt-Zollars was able to achieve the client's required density while meeting the prescribed FAA height.
The City of Redmond SR 520 ramp split project involved splitting the single diverge point leading to Northeast 40th Street and Northeast 51st Street into 2 distinct exits. This project had a significant and positive impact on the community by improving traffic operations during peak hours near the Microsoft campuses. This project involved frequent coordination with multiple key stakeholders, including WashDOT and Sound Transit, since the project was located within WashDOT right-of-way and in close proximity to ongoing Sound Transit projects.
Good afternoon. My name is DJ Brower. I'm project manager for the Love Field Security Enhancement Program. Accommodated change in the fence style that combine both the cabling system and decorative fence into one system that will allow or prevent vehicles from entering the airport. The project was a great project to work with because of that communication and the teamwork from our team and sub-consultants. CMTS, Ken Razor was our key point in coordinating with CMTS on the daily inspections. We appreciate this opportunity and thank you all for allowing us to present this project this year.
Thank you very much for awarding our El Paso team with this project. This is the second roundabout that we have designed for the city of El Paso. City budgets are very tight, and this one thankfully made a good profit. This project converted a very congested intersection in Far East El Paso from a 4-way stop sign to a fully functioning roundabout. It consists of a central island, concrete circulating lanes, landscaping, a public art piece, restriping, lighting, signage, parkways, roadway crossings, ADA accessible ramps, connectivity to existing bike lanes and existing travel lanes, and a very unique hawk beacon for pedestrian crossing, safety, and accessibility.
Throughout the design of the project, it's important to coordinate with the client, public outreach, and public stakeholders.
So I was also part of the design process. I got exposed to the construction as well. So that got me the opportunity to see how our design is dynamically changing based on each site in order to have proper connectivity for our pedestrians and disabled.
Ole Red Indianapolis is a restaurant and live performance venue based on Blake Shelton's hit song Ole Red. The fifth restaurant in the franchise and the first with a truly urban site, this project is located on the street level of Circle Center Mall in Indianapolis. It has approximately 400 seats with seating outdoors and a stage inside for performances. Our design approach was to open the restaurant space to the street as much as possible and create an area of activity to energize the street level. We made use of the existing mall's brick facade, but enlarged the windows and added a linear awning that defined the new entry location and outdoor seating zone. We also used red exterior lights in addition to new large blade signs on the corner and mid-block to give the corner a new presence.
Van Nuys Airport is the busiest general aviation airport in the nation. Jet Aviation and Gulfstream are premium tenants for the airport and a springboard for upgrading the tenant mix. Huitt-Zollars was integral in the design build team being selected by Jet Aviation based on our experience for the site next door. The site presented design challenges as the runway protection zone and aircraft approach surface impacted the site planning, grading, and lid systems. Huitt-Zollars provided consulting beyond our scope with suggestions regarding the site planning, value engineering the airside pavement designed by others, and recommending steps in the finished floor of the building. Special thanks to John Vlasis, Alex Duenas, Chuck Manning, and Lori Ramirez.
Our micro-detention project was made possible from a grant from the North Central Texas Council of Governments. The Regional Transportation Council put out a call for proposals for projects that would break silos between the areas of water, environment, and transportation. So we were able to partner with the City of University Park to come up with design details for a micro-detention system that could be implemented underneath driveways, sidewalks, parking lots. And this is a way to not only mitigate runoff from redevelopment, but also provide water quality benefits and engage homeowners in the process. So we were able to expand our client services to the City of University Park, as well as develop details for a system that's unique, forward-thinking, and scalable for the future.
This project involved the submittal of 2 transboundary environmental information documents, better known as TEIDs, as required by the EPA to meet the requirements for project funding for the cities of Tijuana and Mexicali in the Mexican state of Baja California. Both cities are currently serviced by inadequate, failing wastewater collection systems that, if not rectified and ameliorated, may very well adversely affect the U.S. side of the border cities of San Diego and Calexico in the state of California.
KCI Technologies contracted Huitt-Zollars for construction management of a 54-inch water line along Vickery Drive from Aero Park to World Houston Parkway in Houston. This is part of the city's long-range water supply plan. This line is part of the Greater Houston region's overall conversion from groundwater to surface water. The project program provides for the design and construction of transmission and distribution lines to convey treated water from surface water facilities. It is required to comply with the Harris-Galveston Subsidence District requirement and to implement the city's regionalization plan. This project required heavy caution and attention to detail as large water lines can create catastrophic damage if not constructed correctly.
Congratulations to Huitt-Zollars' Star Wars team, a multi-award winning project located in both California's Disneyland and Florida's Disney World.
Our team provided outstanding personal service on this project by delivering 30 deadlines in a 12-month span without missing a beat in spite of ongoing design changes by the client.
Using BIM 360 throughout design and construction allowed for efficient issue resolution.
To achieve the advanced design, we traveled from coast to coast to accomplish the design once, built twice.
The Star Wars project was a good example of the industry's paradigm shift to using the 3D model as a single source of truth.
Huitt-Zollars was engaged by Wyndham Destinations to provide architectural and engineering documentation, permitting assistance, and construction administration services to build out the 31st floor of the Atlantic City Skyline Towers into 12 timeshare condominiums consistent with the existing floors below that were completed by Morris Architects in 2002. The original tower was built as condominiums in 1982 but stood vacant for 20 years. The project provided additional inventory for the resort owners to occupy and enjoy and for the client's sales operations. The team successfully supported the construction process on a single floor during full operation of the resort.
The Bus Wash Fueling Islands Vacuum and Restroom Improvements Project was the first task order on our on-call contract with Omnitrans. Omnitrans is our second transit on-call contract and helps establish a viable transit practice in Thousand Oaks and Southern California. John Gerard and I quickly realized the client was requesting construction documents, but really had no idea what systems they wanted in the project. I proposed separating the task order into two phases. Phase 1 was the facility assessment report, and phase 2, construction drawings. The separation of the planning and construction drawings turned Huitt-Zollars from designer to trusted consultant, as the phasing was the fairest path forward for both owner and consultant. Special thanks to John Gerard and Yasmin Lujan.
Huitt-Zollars was tasked with performing scour analyses for 20 TxDOT bridges in the Tyler district. These bridges had either experienced severe erosion or had missing scour documentation. So our team visited all 20 sites to collect field data, performed H&H analyses, and prepared scour documentation and recommendations to help protect these critical pieces of infrastructure. These reports are helping set the standard across the state as TxDOT has recently updated their scour guidance. And in the words of the bridge engineer at the Tyler district, this project is going to help improve the quality of all our scour documentation across the state.
The University of North Texas Fouts Field demolition, bus transfer station, and parking was an interesting project. Our schedule was constantly being compressed. We went from planning clear through construction, dealing with lots of site conditions, and after COVID hit, also had to deal with ADA requests for variances. In the end, the client was happy. We stepped forward and did the work.
Huitt-Zollars was brought on to provide construction management services for the new Fort Bend County Public Transportation Facility, which consolidated operations from 4 different facilities into one location. In order for the county to receive federal funding for the project, all material being installed had to meet the Buy America requirements. The CM team not only provided daily inspections of the work being performed, but was also required to document hundreds of material deliveries to the site to ensure it was compliant prior to installation. This now completed state-of-the-art facility is the first of its kind for the county and will provide the resources to plan for future growth of public transportation over the next 25 years. Huitt-Zollars provided preliminary and final engineering for a new 371,000 square foot industrial warehouse development, truck court, and parking area on a vacant property previously used as a drive-in theater. The site had a natural water course that accepted runoff from adjacent sites and conveyed the runoff downstream to an existing Caltrans channel. The design team incorporated a storm drain system to bypass the off-site stormwater run-on through the development and outlet into the downstream channel while maintaining a separate on-site storm drain system to capture, retain, and overflow stormwater to the downstream channel. The project also included design of street widening improvements along the project frontage. Rose Acre Farms is one of the largest egg producers in the world. In 2015, they decided to expand their operations to the southwest and chose a location in Bouse, Arizona. Huitt-Zollars performed the construction staking for this operation, which consists of 2 farms, a chiller, distribution center, a compost facility, and a 3-mile spur off the BNSF railway to their grain terminal. The most significant aspect of this project is the layer house's cageless innovations. The system is a one-of-a-kind designed and manufactured in Italy. Since the parts were imported from Italy, all the dimensions were metric. The mathematical conversions from metric to feet and back to ensure proper placement on the foundations required the surveyors to think outside the box with regard to solving problems. Eaton Terrace is an existing senior living center that our client was hired to renovate. Huitt-Zollars provided the structural engineering services for the renovation. The main 7-story building was upgraded, including adding a floor in an atrium area to create more living space. The existing floor was raised at the main level to eliminate stepped areas. The structural team designed a new steel floor with a concrete deck above a 5th-level room and created a new steel joist roof over the new 6th-level room.
The Arc Flash study was a real unique project in that it was purely electrical in scope and in nature, and that's something that doesn't happen very often with us, so we had fun with that. The intent of the project and the main accomplishment was to give the Corps of Engineers information that would improve the safety for any personnel or contractors working on their electrical facilities at their lake dams. We investigated and analyzed the electrical systems at 24 different dams and lakes around the central and eastern part of the state. Now, this included 3 locations that actually have hydroelectric generating plants in them, which I would say that most people don't realize that we have in Texas. So that was real interesting, getting to see the inner workings of those locations.
Following Hurricane Harvey, as part of Harris County Flood Control District's bond program, Huitt-Zollars investigated potential drainage improvements along 21 miles of Buffalo Bayou from Barker's Reservoir at State Highway 6 to downtown Houston. Huitt-Zollars provided hydraulic and hydrology modeling, conceptual design and cost estimates, and oversaw community engagement for 32 bridge improvements, 18 Oxbow bypass channels, 6 miles of channel improvements, and about 2,000 acre-feet of detention along Buffalo Bayou in the city of Houston. Huitt-Zollars provided preliminary engineering for Hillwood's 2 million square foot industrial warehouse logistics park on approximately 140 acres of vacant land along the west side of the March Air Reserve Base in Paris, California. The client partnered with March Joint Powers Authority to bring to market one of the largest industrial warehouse buildings in the country. Huitt-Zollars provided preliminary design for several site plan options. A drainage master plan was developed to help capture stormwater around the site, as well as provide a drainage facility for the site to connect to. Typically, projects of this nature take 8 to 10 weeks, but we were able to complete the project within 4.
HZ was engaged as a subconsultant to Wood Infrastructure to set T-posts around the boundary of Cold Springs Ranch for the Arizona Game and Fish Department. We had prior experience on this unique ranch. The project itself involved steep terrain, remote access, and many safety issues for our survey crew.
This project took over 20 years from inception to construction. We were involved with it during that time. At the completion of construction, the owner needed to close out their permits with the city. Unfortunately, they'd fired their construction management staff. They were in litigation with the general contractor, and the architect and the structural engineer had died. The person they assigned to wrap up all the documentation was not a design or construction professional and had no prior involvement with the project. We took it upon ourselves to proactively help her, guide her through the processes. We knew what needed to be done, and we took her through the process, enabled her to wrap up completion of construction and release of all the correction items with the city staff.